Hi, in this video, I'm going to discuss what is RabbitMQ and why we are going to use it and how it is going to benefit us. So first, RabbitMQ. RabbitMQ is basically a broker, or you can see a queue manager, which is going to manage a queue. And why is it important? So when we are using a monolith system, so at times we do not need any queues. But when we start moving towards like scalable systems, which are sort of a microservices, so we would be requiring any sort of queue mechanism where multiple services can communicate with each other in terms using queue. So just let me just give you a quick brief, and then you can see. So what we are going to do in the upcoming videos is to make our monolith service, which is e-commerce application. So currently that's a monolith app, and what I'm going to do, I'm going to make that as a microservice. So if I need to create a microservice, so think of these two boxes as two microservices. So let me just call this as a user. So let me just call this user. Let me just make it a bit bigger. So this is a user microservice. Let's say this is going to be order microservice. So you can see these are the two microservices. When we are going to just to make it a bit simpler for those who don't know what microservices. So let me just create one more thing. When we are using a monolith, so let me just create a monolith side by side. So let's just use this over here. So let me just partition this thing. So think of this area as for a monolith. So you can think this is a monolith application. And let me see if I can find something for our database. Doesn't seem like any code to it, but let me just try creating a DB sort of thing. Let me just create it. So I'm going to create it this way. It seems more like a bin, but let's see. So here's the DB. This is our monolith interacting with our DB. So what is actually happening in this monolith? There is no need for any sort of queuing unless you are using any external things. So you can just directly communicate with the database, and if need be, you might add any caching layer or something. But when we need to scale our application, let's say we are receiving so much orders and our users are limited, or others, or the vice versa, there are so many users currently authenticating but orders is way less, so we do not want to make these bombarded by the other commands. So for this reason, what we used to do, we create microservices, and each microservice do have a database of its own. So when we need to have these microservices communicate with each other, so this is where the message broker comes in. What actually happens, let's say if something, or I would say let me just try creating this. Seems like it's okay, it should be this. Okay, so let's say order needs to inform user needs to inform something regarding the order, or order services need to inform something about the user. So what does actually happen? This message broker, so you can think I'm trying to keep the exact name, so I'm going to call it RabbitMQ instead of the generic like message broker. So MQ stands for messaging queue. So what does it do? It keeps those messages inside it, and then it reliably send it to the producer. We'll be looking at a C# code as well. So this was just a brief explanation. Where does the RabbitMQ fit in? One more thing, rather than going into the exact topics of microservices, I would prefer taking a hands-on approach in a sense, like trying to uh, identify certain bits and pieces which are going to help us, like something which is RabbitMQ, the queuing manager. Then we will be further looking at the modular monoliths, and then we'll be moving towards the microservices. But when I have myself looked at the book, I would be recommending a book named as Building Microservices by Sam Newman. I was reading that, but the actual problem while reading those books is that those are too abstract, and even reading after like chapters after chapters, you are not able to build anything. So you have to first complete the book, which itself is very abstract, and uh, you just have the knowledge, but you don't have the actual knowledge where you can implement that. So this is the reason I'm going to use this RabbitMQ. So let's just move forward rather than keep me talking about it. So as I just mentioned, this is a message broker. So I'm going to show you a project which I have created using the command. This is the old project. Let me just open the other one, so which I have created for the RabbitMQ. And also I'll be guiding you how to install. Okay, so prior moving to like this RabbitMQ, let me just quickly show you how to install it first, and then we can go further. So once you navigate to this RabbitMQ, and you need to get this RabbitMQ installed locally. So the current version is 4.3.2. So what you need to do, you need to go and see which like release or asset. So I am using this on Windows. So I am going to use this executable version. If you are on any other OS, so you can install that respective one. So once you have that installed, so what it's going to do, let me just quickly show you if I can get hold of. Let me just do one thing for you because I've deleted those. So something like this RabbitMQ server is going to get installed. So once I try to install it, it asks for one more thing, which is Erlang. Erlang, if I can go and quickly show that to you. So this current version 4.3.2 is compatible with the Erlang OTP 28. Previously, I tried like installing this Erlang 29, and this RabbitMQ was not compatible with that, so it was creating problem for me. So you need to install this Erlang 25, and over here you can get hold of this one. So what you need to do, I can quickly show you. Again, I have already have this installed. So what I did, I got this Erlang first installed. Erlang, you can think of it as a runtime for RabbitMQ, because RabbitMQ is being built using the Erlang language. So you need to first install that, and then you need to serve this system. So once it's been successfully installed, post Erlang, then RabbitMQ, what you are going to get, you are going to get a service which I'm going to quickly show you. So you are going to have a RabbitMQ service. So you can see it's already started. And one more thing you need to do, you need to set up, if I can get hold of that command exactly. Don't know if I'm going to get. Okay, let me try to figure out that exact command first. Okay, so I have got the command. So you can see once you have the RabbitMQ installed, so what does it do? It do have a server installed, but I need a web-based console as well. And for that, I need to enable the RabbitMQ management. So for that, what you need to do, you need to go to the RabbitMQ server folder. Inside that, there is a sbin folder. You can see here, and then we have to run RabbitMQ plugin batch, and we need to enable the RabbitMQ management. So let me try running it. I have already this running. So what it's saying, it's like enabling this on that server. uh, I can quickly show you the, let me just try refreshing it. If I can refresh that, so some sort of this RabbitMQ console you are going to get, and over here you can get to see a queue as well. And so quick things what I've covered RabbitMQ, a prerequisite for that, which is airline, and then sort of I would say web console for RabbitMQ. So now quickly just move to the code which I have with me, which I have taken from this RabbitMQ website. So I'll be quickly showcasing you. There are like two things. If I can quickly explain the concept of RabbitMQ, let me just try. So, so let me just open a new one. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to create this as a queue. RabbitMQ itself have a queue over here. So think of it as a queue which is being maintained by RabbitMQ. And one you can think of as a producer, which is going to produce a message. I'm trying to keep it as simple as possible. The next thing is going to be a consumer. So you can see like our code is going to produce a message in the queue, which is itself inside the RabbitMQ, and that queue is being consumed by this. So this is a very simple way of thinking about it. Now it comes to the code which I have over here with me. So I have two console projects over here. Let me first showcase that to you, and then I'll walk you through the code exactly. So let me just start that, and I'll be keeping it side by side. So let's just keep it open. So you can see over here, what does it do? This is a producer which send hello, and this is the consumer which have received the hello world. But one thing you might notice that within the RabbitMQ we do not have a message or queued message, because this is how RabbitMQ works. It creates a queued message, and once it's consumed, it's being like processed by the consumer, it is going to get vanished from over here. So let me quickly show you another way of doing this so you get a good idea. Let's just stop this and just try running the producer. So let me just try starting an instance, and you can see a send hello is being created, but as of now there is no consumer. So let's just quickly go to the let me just try refreshing it. So you can see there is one message over here which is ready to be consumed, but as there is no consumer at this point of time, so if I quickly one more thing you can do over here, you can refresh it every 5 seconds, so you do not have to refresh it explicitly. Let me just try doing one more thing. Let me try running the consumer. So let me just try running the consumer. So you can see a message have been received. So let's just quickly go and see. So you can see right away it have been changed and it have been consumed. So this is how messages are going to work in this message queuing context. And before I close the video, let me just quickly showcase you the code, because this is a very baseline video which I am currently keeping this project a bit out from my actual project where I'm going to consume it. This is to showcase to you. Let me just open the producer first. Let me just stop that over here. Oh, okay, one more thing. RabbitMQ previously was using AMQP 0.8. If I can go to RabbitMQ, because that is something which I should showcase to you. Let me go to the get started. So there are two protocols. AMQP stands for, I think, Advanced Messaging Queue Protocol, and the most recent one is the 1.0 and the previous one is 0.91. So this is over here. You can see this is a 1.0 and this is going to be 0.91. So in this video, I'm using the most latest one, and for that I have pulled a library as well. So let me just quickly show that to you so you get an idea which library I'm referring to. If I can get hold of the NuGet package manager, so I can quickly show you the installed ones over here. You can see this library by RabbitMQ AMQP client have been consumed, and which is currently in a new version 1.0. And if you try to search the previous one, so if I can paste over here RabbitMQ only, so you might get another library which is referring to the old one, but you can see the latest version is 7 point something and it have more downloads, but this is the previous version, so I'm not going to use that. With this being said, so you can see I have imported two namespaces, and one thing, once I have installed the server is running on this port 5672. And one more thing you can notice over here, this is AMQP protocol. So it means it's not the HTTP protocol. Usually when we are calling a web service or any HTTP page, so it's working on an HTTP protocol. But AMQP protocol is a different protocol than HTTP. It's working on the same OSI level layer, which is application layer. Those who are not aware of the network protocol layer, there are like 7 conceptual layers. So it's working on the same layer which HTTP is working. So this is the URI. Then we are establishing a connection setting over here. So you can see a connection setting builder is also provided by this client library. What it's doing, it's creating a URI, and then there is a container ID. And what does container ID do? It's uniquely identify this client container application instance. So this is basically a requirement in the new AMQP 1.0 standard. And then we are going to build. So settings being built. What else we need to do? We need to create an environment. So based on these settings, we are creating an environment, and then we are going to create a connection. So at this point of time, you can see previously we haven't used any await. So at this time, we are trying to establish a connection. That's why we are using await to make it more robust. And once we have the connection, then you can see we have a try catch. And what we are doing, then we are going to use that connection management, and we are getting a management. So let's just quickly see what does this management mean. So you can see first we have the environment, then we have tried creating a connection, and within that connection we have a management. So it retrieves the basically the management context, because inside that management context we are going to create a queue. So over here you can see a queue named hello is going to be created, and there are going to be multiple types of queues within like messages RabbitMQ. So you can see the queue type quorum. If I can navigate over here and see if it allow me. So there are quorum, classic, and stream. We will be discussing those if need be. But at this point of time, what we need to be aware of, that we need to use this type quorum. And what we get a queue specs. Then what we are trying to do, we are trying to get these specs and declare asset. What it's going to do, again, you can see the await over here, and what it makes the network call to ensure the queue exists on the broker. So if the queue exists, it is going to do nothing, and if the queue doesn't exist, it's going to create that. Then comes the publisher, because at this point of time we have the environment with us, we have the connection established, have the management, and the queue is being there. So now we are trying to get a publisher. So this is going to be in a publisher mode. So on this connection, what we are building a publisher on this queue, and it is using again build async. Or you can see await is being used over here as well. So we are going to get a publisher, and then once we have the publisher with us, so you can see we are sending a string message, a body, and this message is going to be changed to a AMQP message. And what does it do? AMQP messages are going to use this UTF-8 byte encoding. So everything which we are sending, it's going to be encoded in this. Once the message has been created, the publisher is going to publish that message and again going to await because the delivery status is going to be received. So once a publishing result is published result is being received, so we have a switch over here. So whatever the outcome, let's say which we have tried to connect to the RabbitMQ and it have accepted, so we are going to receive it. So at in that case, we do not have to do anything, or if there's certain logging which we need to do, we can do that. In case the broker didn't accept the message but released it, so it need to be retried. So we have that over here. We captured that. In case the broker itself right away rejected that, there could be a reason for that, which we are going to get from this published result outcome. And if there is any error which is not being catered, so we can use the default one. So this is a quick overview of the publisher. And let's just quickly see the consumer as well. Over here, we have the consumer. Again, somewhat similar. The library being used, the URL based use, the set connection settings are somewhat similar. Environment, connection management, and queue specifications, everything is somewhat similar. So the difference is over here. So over there, I was using iPublisher. Over here, I'm using iConsumer. So what it's going to do is going to build a consumer, and inside that, what it's doing, using the same queue, and the message handler is being used. So what does it going to receive? In case if a message is being received, so it is going to show receive a message, and ctx dot accept is going to be used. And if I can quickly show you, okay, so the message itself is being accepted and task have been completed. And again, it's going to use build and start async. So let's just quickly see what does it mean. Consumer initialization and handler, consumer creator, consumer instant bound to the hello queue, which we have seen. Then this message handler register an asynchronous callback for processing incoming message. So like asynchronous callback has been registered. And what does this CTX accept? It acknowledges the message, if anything, telling the broker that it has successfully processed. And what does it do? Build and start async starts the consumer loop in the background. So consumer loop is running in the background using this await. So if any message is being received, is being consumed. Then we are trying this. What we are doing over here in the console, we are waiting for the message. So, and one more thing we are allowing it to use Control C to close this. And you can see over here we have a cancellation token source. So cancellation tokens are those tokens which tell our application gracefully to exit. Let's say if we are doing certain thing within our application. So if we try to kill it right away, so there might be a possibility the running process and whatever which we are going to run might get closed in the middle. So these cancellation token help us gracefully shut down. It just lets the app know that your application is going to get shut down. So it tries to complete the current running action, and post that it is going to get closed. So you can think of it like if someone is eating in a restaurant, so rather than just closing the restaurant right away and setting off all the lights, it's being informed to the users or all the person who are eating in the restaurant that we are about to close. So try to wrap up your things in a few minutes or by this time, so we can close that. So hopefully you get that idea. So with this, you can see there is a console.cancel key press. So this is again, you can say event handler. So what does it do? If our application is going to receive this cancel key press event, let's say if I am going to press A, B, C, it's not going to receive it. But if I'm going to press Control C, so this event is going to get received. And in that, what I'm adding over here, this handler, it's providing if I can quickly, it was supposed to be a sender, but there is no need for the sender. And the second thing is the actual event. So we are just receiving the event, and this underscore is to tell it that just ignore it. So what does it do? We are canceling, like making it true, and then we are going to cancel it. So, and post that we are again waiting indefinitely until the cancellation token is cancelled. So over here, if the cancellation token is not going to get received, so it's going to like indefinitely wait for that. So without using a while true loop, we are achieving this. Usually what actually happens in a previous model, what we used to do, we used to use a while loop with a true inside that, and there used to be a case where we capture certain keystrokes and then try to exit that loop. But over here, without using a while true loop, we are using this cancellation token, and based on that cancellation token, we are going to gracefully exit our application. If this exception have been received, so it being we are out of it, and then we are going to close the consumer, the connection, and the environment. So I'm very hopeful that you are able to get hold of the idea of RabbitMQ, got a quick overview of how the console is there, the airline runtime, and what else, a quick overview of the code. So in upcoming videos, what I'm going to do, I'm going to integrate this inside my e-commerce application with this CKC e-commerce or commerce hub, which was previously e-shop CKC. So I have improvised that, and I'm moving it towards a microservices based architecture. So I'm hopeful that journey will be a good learning for you and for me as well. So thanks for watching. If you like the video and want to watch somewhat similar video, feel free to like and subscribe the video. Thanks for watching. Bye.